What's up, YouTube? So, today's topic, I'm gonna talk about temptations to do wrong or to do evil, and also like temptations that cause a lot of like trauma and pain and suffering. I'm also gonna talk about how evil this human experience really is, and how evil this world is. So, I might name this title "The Devil's Temptation" and "The Devil's Playground." When people say the devil's playground, and they mean this in a way where like this human experience or this world, this realm, this third realm, this whole matrix we're living in, this whole society, this whole world, this whole earth, people like to call it the devil's playground. And when I heard that term the first time, like a couple years back, I kind of agree with it, especially the things I've experienced and the things I've been reflecting on, and just what other people are going through and stuff, and how I view this world from my own perspective. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but how I view this world, how I view this whole experience, I don't view this shit as like a pleasing, pleasant, righteous, justice type of world. I don't view this at all. I view this world as very sadistic, very evil, and very tempting to perpetuate and to continue to do a lot of evil shit because the world's naturally evil, right? I've studied a lot of spirituality. I've gained so much information when it comes to spiritual perspectives, when it comes to people's viewpoints, and I'm still am learning about people, about spirituality to this day when it comes to this world, right? But I'm also trying to learn from my own experiences, from my own observations and my own theories, right? So let's get to it. So in this world, what I've realized, it's so easy because in this world we have a lot of people who are traumatized. We have a lot of people who are in pain, and it makes sense because we live in a world where like it inflicts a lot of pain because of money control. People can't do the things they want to do because of money. Money is a form of enslavement and a form of control. So this is why people are miserable. This is why people don't like they're not satisfied with where they're at in life. A lot of people feel very stuck and limited because we're in the devil's playground known as this world, as a society. Why do I call it that? Because everything is controlled. You can't travel around the world. You can't even buy the types of food you want to buy when you're trying to become healthy. You can't even do the things you want because of money. In order for you to make money, you have to do things most people don't want to do. Most people don't like their jobs. They're miserable. That's why people complain. People gotta wake up at a certain time. People are overworked and underpaid, right? But not only that, but we still have people who are like homeless. We still have people who are like stuck in third world countries that are suffering. So we have a lot of suffering around this world, right? That's why people call it the devil's playground, right? A lot of people experience betrayal. A lot of people experience family abuse. A lot of people experience just narcissism from other people. This system inflicts a lot of pain and trauma to people, and in return, people inflict trauma and pain to innocent people. This is why a lot of people seem so toxic, or people will seem to switch up. People like it's just I don't know, man. But there's a whole spiritual side to it. I'm not sure it's because I'm being more exposed to life or to this world, or people or the energies are increasing. I'm not sure if people I've always been like this around the world. I don't understand. We got billions of people in this world, so just as much there are evil people, I believe there are genuine people out there. But in my opinion, I could be wrong, but I do feel like there's a lot of wicked and evil people who are traumatized. There are more than them compared to the average genuine person who's not as sadistic as a lot of other people are. You know, a lot of people like to use people. A lot of people like to steal from other people. A lot of people like to manipulate, gaslight, and project and inflict pain onto other people because it's a lot easy to do that to other people. Because when you're in pain, you just want to project that shit because it's called pain for a reason because people don't want to feel that shit. So they find an innocent victim or they find someone who's vulnerable and they decide it'd be easier for them to project that pain onto them, right? And being a human is not easy too because like we have a nervous system, so we feel pain. I have a heartbeat, you have a heartbeat, pain receptors. We have nerves. If I were to pinch myself, I'll feel pain. So human beings, the reason why they do this shit they do is because we have a nervous system, and it's so easy for human beings to develop a lot of trauma within the mind, right? So that's one of the reasons why we do the things we do, because we're in the flesh. So we have the human mind. It's easy to manipulate the human mind. People may say it's not. That's bullshit. It is, because look at mind control. Look at this world. Even I'm mind control. We're all mind control. You know, it could be a good thing, or it could be a bad thing. That's why it's so easy for babies and kids and infants to develop a lot of trauma at a young age. That's why people always say, be careful when you're a parent, because that's why certain kids at a certain age aren't allowed to play like certain video games, or not allowed to watch certain movies, because it'll traumatize them, or they'll be easily influenced by negative shit that they're subjected to, and they'll overdo it. You know what I'm saying? So the human body, my opinion, it's weak. It's very weak. So because one of my biggest fears too is that like one day, like it's so like one day I'll get to an accident, and like maybe I'll lose my arms, I'll lose my legs one day, or like I become disabled, or like some people can't see, some people are blind, some people don't have arms and legs. So that in itself kind of freaks me out, because it's just kind of scary how fragile the human body can be. It's like me, I take my health, I take health very seriously. I love health. I love working out. I'm a very fit and active person. I'm in the military, so I love being active and shit. I love playing sports growing up, and I still do. And I love running. I love working out. So I love using my body to do the things I need to do, right? But it's just crazy how like with the human body, you could easily lose a leg, you could lose an arm, you could, you become blind, you could become deaf. So I view the human body as very fragile and weak, but it's just scary how you could like just mind your own business, do the right thing, then all of a sudden you sprain your ankle, or you have a knee injury, or like you tore your Achilles, and then it's like you're done. It's like you can't really do things you want to do, and you're forced to just sit down and not do anything, but to like just kind of heal your body for like a certain amount of months. For some people it's years. Like you see athletes who are like very great athletes, very great, but then you hear them like having certain knee injuries and certain like ankle injuries and shit like that, right? And then it ends their career. Even with like potential athletes, that are good at college or in high school, but then they have a very crucial injury, and then it kind of messed them up for their career. I also believe things happen for a reason. So I feel like if a certain path is blocked for you, is blocking your path, and I feel like you're meant to go to a different direction. But I also believe at times life could be extremely unfair. I don't know. It's just I view life in so many different ways. I feel like things do happen for a reason. We're kind of God or a higher power will kind of redirect you, so you can learn lessons, or so your spirit can experience certain shit, good or bad. But who knows? But all I'm saying is this: sometimes it's hard for me to have faith, or to like kind of like I feel like I kind of live life I feel life kind of paranoid, because like there are times where like I love what I do, like I love working out, I love being on my grind, especially when it comes to fitness. But I'm scared that like because my fitness, it requires my career. I'm in the military, so like I need to rely on my body to perform at a high level. And if I were to get like an injury, or if I get to like a car accident, then I might lose a leg, I might lose an arm, or like I might like become blind or deaf. Then like it's like I can't progress in my career, or I may even get kicked out of my career, because my body's not physically able to perform at a high level, and then I'm no use for my career pretty much. So that's why I try to take my body very seriously. So it's just crazy how like an accident or just an injury can really make or break you at a certain career, or like when it comes to life in general. Because no one wants to live life with like a broken bones, because let's say if you have a family, how you supposed to just like spend time with your kids if you have like broken bones or just shit like that. So me, I tend to think of the worst case scenario at times, but I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but I'm kind of speaking the facts. The human body is fragile. I don't necessarily hate the human body, but I'm not saying it's strong either. It's very weak. It's very fragile. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy how easy the human body could develop a lot of injuries. but also when you really getting older, it's like it's harder for your body to keep up. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just hope in my life like I get to live life extremely healthy, both mentally and physically. So like I don't have to experience unnecessary burdens from the weakness and the fragile human body. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but with this video, I'm just talking about how like it's so easy, it's so tempting to do evil shit. It's so tempting to like be on the wrong path, or so easy to harm another human being or to inflict pain on another human being, is especially people who do you wrong. So a lot of people experience life differently, but I'm using my life for example. So with my life is like, and I be observing other people's lives, but with my life is like, I just feel like I've been through so many things where people have done me wrong, like people have stolen money, like people were attacking me physically, verbally, mentally. I've been through a lot of spiritual warfare, a lot of spiritual attacks from like people who I thought had my back, from like friends, family, coworkers who I thought had my back, but they switched up on me, or like they're acting fake, or they'll steal money from me, or like they'll use me, or like I have like family members who like physically, mentally just attack me and shit. Like they'll project their traumas and pain onto me. They'll lie on me, backstab me. You know what I'm saying? So I've experienced it all. So this is why I have over 500 videos explaining about narcissistic abuse, narcissistic attack, spiritual warfare, betrayal, abandonment, just shit like that. So I have definitely had a lot of experience when it comes to that. Obviously, some other people experience worse and more than I do. But I do. But what I can't say is that like I do have, and I like what I'm saying is I do have I have an understanding what it feels like, and the things like what you're gonna go through when you experience injustice type of situations in life, right? But all I'm saying is this, like within life, and I observe this from a lot of people. People experience bullshit in life. People experience some crazy shit in life, right? So it's so hard to like kind of stay in the right path. It's so hard not to become your abusers. It's so hard not to become the types of people who inflicted a lot of pain onto you. It's so hard. But yet it's so easy to inflict pain. It's so easy to project trauma onto innocent people, right? It's so easy to do that because it's easy. And it's called pain for a reason. We have a human body. We have nerves. We're in the flesh. We have a brain. All that is physical. It's flesh. So that means it's fragile. So when people feel pain, they don't want to feel pain because it's called pain for a reason. Because when you feel pain, you don't want to experience pain, right? And when people feel pain, such as trauma, they want to release it. But it takes so long just to heal the human body. It takes so long just to heal trauma. It takes so long to heal blockages. Like when people are on a healing journey, or they're doing some type of shadow work, they always explain like it takes a certain amount of time just to release pain, and it's a slow process. This is why instead people would rather find a fast way. So this is why people project their trauma and their anger towards a lot of people, right? It may work temporarily, but in the long term, it's still not going to work because the trauma still sticks with them. But people, they're in so much pain and they're just so confused. They don't know what's going on because they don't have the right information. They just want to project that shit so in the hopes they can release that shit, right? Usually people project pain. So there's a lot of things. So I don't view this human experience like I don't mind the human experience, but I don't respect it. Like I view this human experience as obviously very shitty and annoying because the human body's fragile and we have a lot of damaged people because we live in a damaged world. Because everything's controlled and restricted. This is why I hate this human experience. But with me, I'm content with what I'm doing. Like I love my career. I'm thankful for the amount of information I have on my fingertips. I'm thankful that I have access to the internet. So like, I'm thankful for that. But I'm talking about overall in this world, or like just how shitty it could be. You know, when you're constantly around shitty people, when you're constantly around negative people, and you're not around like-minded people, I've experienced that a lot. At times it feels lonely. It feels lonely. It's like, why am I experiencing this? So me, like, I view life so many different ways. Like, I'm not saying I'm right, but like, this is why I don't take life personally. But I take life seriously to where I want to improve my life so I can get out of my situation, so I can meet people who are on my level, so I can change my life for the better, because I don't want to stay stuck in my situations in life. But that's what I mean when I take life seriously. But this is why I don't take life personally, is because we live in an evil world. Everything is controlled. Everything is restricted, and everyone has a lot of trauma and pain, and a lot of people project that shit. I've dealt with that through family members, through a lot of people growing up. So it's like, um, and life is short, and there's a lot of people experience a lot of spiritual attacks. I view life at a very religious slash spiritual way. So I do feel like there is good and evil. I do personally believe, especially as I'm just getting older, I do believe there is a God, or there is a devil, or at least there's an idea of it. I'm not saying I'm right, but that's my belief system so far. Because everything I've been through kind of makes sense on why I actually experience things I've experienced. Um, there's this channel, I forgot her name, but she talks about how, like, on her YouTube channel, she talks about how, like, the reason why people like to start fights with you, or people are trying to pick fights with you, like, people are starting problems with you, or like people are just like getting on your nerves, they're trying to trigger you, or like they're trying to project all their pain and traumas onto you, is because the one, they've experienced that shit themselves growing up, and now it kind of forced them to develop a false ego. So now they don't know themselves, so now they're easy to be influenced by a negative entity, like demonic spirits or lower vibrational entities, to influence their mind. And they use their mind to fuck with innocent people, or to people that are close to them, or even a random person or a group of people. They'll project their pain and trauma, the same very trauma that hurt them. They'll project that shit towards the people I just mentioned, like their loved ones, people they're close to, or innocent people in general. They'll project that shit in hopes they'll experience the same thing they had to experience. You know, some people do this shit consciously or unconsciously. You know what I'm saying? This is where you get your narcissism from. This is where you get your spiritual warfare from. You know what I'm saying? So this is where you get your bullies from. So that's pretty much a basic overview of why this shit happens, based on the things I've learned. You know, I'm just using my own words, but yeah. So it's hard. So I've been reflecting my life. So it's like, for me, it's kind of hard to, like, I'm a very cool person. Like, I'm not the type of person to start fights. Like, it's so easy for me to make friends. I'm cool with a lot of people. I'm very nice. I'm very, like, giving. So like, I'm kind of hard to get for someone to get mad at me. But what I'm saying is this: I've been around a lot of people, a lot of shitty people, who are very traumatized and they don't know themselves. So they'll project their pain and trauma onto me. But since I know so much, I don't take it personal, but it still affects me because it's still hurtful. You know what I'm saying? Because I actually have a genuine heart. So, like, when people project their pain onto me, that shit will hurt. And I've been through a lot of crazy ass situations with, like, when it comes to spiritual warfare, with, like, family members, to where, like, I can't even explain it, because it's a lot to explain leading up to the things I've been through. Like, it's like everything was planned out. So it's like, at this point, I don't even talk about it because it's just too painful, you know. But I am taking steps to heal. Like, I am going to therapy. I am going to, like, I'm trying to do certain healing practices, like meditations, yoga, obviously working out, and then studying more, learning more about myself, doing some shadow work, crying it out, releasing anger, and shit like that. But yeah, and studying about stoicism and spirituality, right? And even some religious teachings as well, when it comes to the devil, when it comes to God and demonic entities and shit like that. So I'm a firm believer that, like, when the average person experiences a lot of, like, abuse, or a lot of, like, trauma and pain towards other people, and that same person is doing the best they can to improve their lives, so they won't become like the same people who traumatize them, or who are traumatized. If they're actively trying to heal themselves, so they won't become like the shitty people they've dealt with. I really feel like if people were experiencing, like, the shitty end of life, later on their life, they're also going to experience the greater end of life. So this is why, with me, even though it sucks, even though I do experience pain, and I am trying to overcome it, it does affect me. But at the same time, it doesn't phase me because I have a strong awareness and I have a strong feeling that like even though I'm experiencing a lot of injustices or like I feel like people are just doing me wrong left and right, or I feel like I just feel very alone. Um, I also do believe that like later in my life, before I pass away, I will also experience the good parts of life. Like I do feel like I am gonna reach a point in my life where like I will become financially free to where I could do the things I want to do, the things I've always wanted to do without restrictions. But when it comes to money, I do believe I will experience that. I do believe I will experience like I said the greater ends of life, like the things I always wanted, like meeting like-minded people, being in a loving romantic relationship, being around people who are on my level, financial success, career success, or not, or just like just stuff like that. I feel like I am gonna reach that level later in my life. Obviously, I'm still currently working to get those things, but I know for a fact all the things I've been through that caused me a lot of pain. I'm fully aware that like later in my life I will experience the complete opposite of that, which is the greater parts of life. I just don't know. I just have a feeling of that. I know that to be a fact. And people who also experience the shitty end of life, or like early in their early stages of life, they are also going to experience the opposite. Some people like to call it a lot of Saturn in their placements. I'm not sure about me, but like I know people who claim they have a lot of Saturn influence, and usually with Saturn influence, it means that like pretty much when you're born and up to your 20s, you're going to experience a lot of trials and errors and bullshit and injustices and abusive situations. But once you reach the later end of your life, like in your 30s leading up to your whole life, then that's when you're going to experience the good parts of life. This is why certain people say once you reach your 30s, you're going to experience the good parts of life. Maybe these same people have a lot of Saturn influence, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. All I'm saying is this: like, if you're experiencing horrible situations in life with people, with life situations, with a lot of spiritual warfare, don't even trip about it. Just it's just how life is. Is the human experience, your spirit, it wants experiences, good or bad, which is fucked up, which I don't agree with. But I mean, I do agree with, but like I don't agree with how spirit or life operates or how God operates, but it's how it is. So if you're experiencing horrible situations in your first half of your life, just know that in your later end of your life, you will also experience the greater end of life and the better parts of life. Just don't let like shitty people or like shitty situations phase you. Even if you feel alone, just know that on the other side there is light at the end of the tunnel. In the same way we're experiencing a lot of bullshit in life, you will also experience the greater experiences and the greater ends of life where it's gonna work in your favor. Just keep faith, don't give up, do what you gotta do to do the healing work, complete your life's mission, follow your passion, do a lot of soul searching, love yourself, know more about yourself, and don't give up. In his life, it's so easy to just give up. It's so easy to just to be bitter, to be angry. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to project that pain onto innocent people. It's so easy to become a bully. It's so easy to become like a narcissist. You know, it's so easy to do that. It's so easy to abuse your position of power. It's so easy to do that. The reason why it's easy to do that because life will test you. Like me, I like to refer as like the devil, and the reason why I like to say that because I've been inspired by other YouTube channels that I found that I forgot her name. I gotta give her a shout out, but I forgot her YouTube channel's name that I just found, and she talks about how like the devil likes to influence people who don't know themselves to attack other people, and this is where you get your generational curses from and your spiritual attacks. There's a lot of spiritual warfare that's taking place for a long ass time. There's why people call it the devil's playground and shit. Because it is. I mean, look how easy it is for corrupt people to control this world. This world has been controlled for thousands of years through money. People had experienced enslavement. So that in itself shows you this is the devil's playground. This shit's evil as fuck. So it makes sense that it's so easy for like demonic beings or lower vibrational entities to influence a lot of people into them doing horrible shit. You know what I'm saying? This is why when you see innocent people or people who are very loving, they tend to get attacked or taken advantage of a lot because we live in a very evil, sadistic world because it's a devil's playground, right? So, but the main part of this video is to inform you guys that like have an awareness that this world is evil and a lot of people are influenced by the devil, but don't but and also it's so tempting to do wrong or to become the same types of people who inflicted a lot of pain onto you. But more so, this video is about not doing that and to not take life as personal, because there is a spiritual side to life, and just know that this realm, I want to say it's shitty, but I am saying it's shitty because a lot of evil shit is so easy for this realm to be controlled by a lot of evil forces, right? And there's a lot of restrictions as well, but this is where you get your intuition from. I know some people who aren't religious or some people who have different belief systems, but I'm just going to call it a higher power or your spirit or your higher self. However you like to view it. Just view as your higher, just view as a higher power, as that being or as that thing guiding you into heading to the right path. So when you experience horrible shit in life or people trying to put you down, just know that you have a strong intuition and you have that higher power you could rely on to navigate through life. So even though it may look like your situation isn't working in your favor, from a spiritual perspective, it is, because you could use these horrible situations to your advantage to help other people and to help yourself and be able to be the light that this world needs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying this world is 100% evil. Could be, but there are good parts to life. There are things that it is enjoyable to live life, such as going outside, following your heart, following your passions, doing what you love, staying focused, right? But this video is about if you're going through hard times, if you're going through obstacles, or if you feel like you're constantly experiencing a lot of spiritual warfare or attacks from people when you're just minding your own business. If you're being attacked by a lot of people when you're minding your own business, then that's a good sign that like you're doing great things and you're heading on the right path. And just know that you're experiencing a lot of demonic entities that are trying to take you down because they don't want you to be happy or to experience blissful situations in life and to help a lot of people along the way. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people experience this shit and they don't know what the fuck is going on because there's a spiritual side to it, because this world is so easy to be influenced by lower vibrational entities, and this is why it's a constant cycle of pain and traumatized people pretty much. So, and the devil's very tricky. So the devil will use a lot of people to inflict pain onto you. Just know that any negativity that you experience from people, just know that it's not a coincidence. This shit is most likely done on purpose by an entity or just by just retarded people, just shit like that. So don't take it personally. If you're being attacked, that means you're in the right path. If you just use your pain to the right way by like healing it, try to overcome it, doing shadow work, and try to use it to your advantage by gaining wisdom on how to do that and how to overcome that, so you can help other people, so you can teach people in future generations the tools they need in order for them to overcome people's projection and pain onto them, right? If that makes sense. So you have less traumatized people living in this world. And you see people doing this right now. You see people that makes videos about narcissism, how to overcome trauma, healing journey like fasting, yoga, like therapy work, or just stuff like that. Or like people talking about narcissism, exposing narcissism. People talk about spiritual warfare. Some people have like a tarot channel, like they do tarot videos. So that's what I mean by transmitting your energy into helping others in a good way. But you can also transmit your energy into becoming great in life by using your anger, your sadness, your confusion. All that is energy. So transmute that shit into success, and it will get you far in life. And that's the righteous way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Along doing the shadow work and healing work. But that's all I gotta say. All I gotta say is it's like this world is ruled by a lot of evil forces, and that it's so easy for a lot of demonic entities to influence a lot of people into harming innocent people, innocent loving people, because of the nature of this world, right? But just knowing that if you have the awareness, if you have the spiritual information, then just know that nothing can stop you and nothing will get in your way. And just know that if you feel like life is being unfair, don't even trip about it, because on later stages of life, you will experience the blissful, the most amazing parts of life. This is how life is. Life will always find a way to balance things out. So, and knowing that, we also gain a lot of wisdom and experiences, which is a good thing. So, because you can help a lot of people along the way, you just gotta use it in the right way. Don't use these experiences to self-destruct. Some people do that. Instead, use these experiences to help people. I know it's unfair, but it's all about perspectives. It's all about how you view the situation, and that's what helps me and other people. You know what I'm saying? And there's no right or wrong, so you might as well look at these situations in a good way, so you can help other people. And either way, it's gonna work in your benefit. Because if you're helping other people, you're also helping yourself, and in return, you're gonna make this world a better place, and you'll get rewards in return. But that's all I gotta say. And like, comment, subscribe, have a good one. Peace.